Round 21 in the Premier League was a blast. Midweek action gave us some surprise results, some shocking ones, and some that we could not have predicted as well. But anyways, without wasting much time, let's take a look at the best talking points from the midweek action in round 21. Victor, I remember our preview video for Arsenal versus Liverpool. I don't think anyone expected a draw, more or less a goalless draw, but Arsenal and Liverpool ended up playing out to a surprising 0-0 scoreline. What do you think, are the implications of that result for both sides?
Well, Liverpool are still very much in limbo. Okay, they're unbeaten in 10 games, and that sounds fantastic until you realize 5 of those were draws, and this is the defending champions. I think a UCL spot is now the objective, so top 4 or top 5, most likely 5th place will be enough this season as well. For Arsenal, yeah, they're still in pole position for the title race, but it was a big opportunity for more breathing room after City and Villa drew their games. If you look at the odds for Arsenal before the game against Liverpool, Arsenal were priced at 115 thereabouts to win the title. Now they've gone up to 135. It's still likely they will win it, but they can't afford to be passing up another opportunity like this one.
Yeah, fair point and well said. And over to you, Max. From a Manchester United perspective, what could it possibly feel like after failing to beat the two worst sides in the league in a matter of weeks? Manchester United failed to beat Wolves and now recently a 2-2 draw to Burnley. What must it feel like from a United perspective?
The sad thing is that Sheshko scored a brace and they still didn't manage to win against Burnley, and it's quite sad. But I mean, yeah, it was a bad game against Wolves, but we had a lot of moments. But here there was too many things going around the club, and I don't see that players were really like looking forward to this game. I'd say like this probably. And yeah, Burnley had more motivation. They've been defending the goal like it's the last day of their life. There was like at least 5 tackles from the goal line. So I'd say we didn't play bad, but at the end of the day, we definitely have to find a new manager as soon as possible, or at least an interim one, and get back to the at least to the same level we were used to play like a couple of weeks ago.
Fair enough.
My God, that would be a sad state of affairs.
Right. Anyways, back to you, Victor. Newcastle and Leeds played out to an interesting 7-goal thriller, sorry, a 4-3 scoreline with Harvey Barnes scoring in the 102nd minute, to break Leeds out. Do you think that was an unfair result to Leeds, Victor?
First of all, let's say there will be no one more relieved than Malik Chow. He gifted 2 goals and still came out on the winning side. All in all, it was a great game, and it does feel a bit harsh for Leeds, but you can't really say that Newcastle did not deserve it. They kept coming back every time they fell behind. They constantly had an answer for anything and everything Leeds threw at them. I think at the moment there's a lot of belief around Newcastle, especially when they're playing at home, and this will only add to the mystique of St. James's Park. As for Leeds, I think they'll be fine, especially since this is their first campaign after coming back, and there are 3 teams that are much worse than them. So they're going to stay up. That's the objective right now, and I think it will be reached.
Fair enough. And back to you, Max. Brentford beat Sunderland by a comfortable 3-0 scoreline, and they are now just 2 points behind Liverpool, who are in 5th place. Do you think it's too early to start talking about Brentford slowly pushing for European spots?
Yeah, this is quite fun because if somebody remember before the season, I was calling that Brentford was going to relegate probably, and I was expecting their manager to be one of the first to be sacked, and somehow they ended up in 5th place at the moment. And I'd say at least at home they're playing super decent. They've been not losing to mostly nobody, and I feel like if they can maintain their form at the moment and do a bit better on road, yeah, they can definitely finish in somewhere like 7th or 8th place at least, because Chelsea are doing, I'd say, bad at least at the moment. Spurs are Spurs as ever. They're in 14th place, and you don't really expect them to finish in Europe. So yeah, basically they're probably the main contender for the Europa League at least.
Interesting, interesting. And anyways, on the final note for this video, Victor, what do we think about the mentality of Tottenham after the loss to Spurs, but rather than the result, much has been made about the Arsenal Cup mistakenly used by Thomas Frank?
I think the tea lady had a bit of a laugh at his expense at the vitality, but it's also understandable. As a manager, you've got more on your mind than what your teacup looks like. It can happen. It's human. It's fine. As for Spurs, honestly, as Max also said, as Spursy as ever. I think at the moment you could put Arrigo Sacchi in charge, and it would still take a good while for them to play some football. Actually,
Wow, that's actually sad. So it seemed like no matter the manager that comes to Spurs, you just can't save the club at the moment. But yeah, anyways, we'll see where Spurs end up at the end of the season. But those were some of the best talking points for round 21. And in another video, we'll be talking about some of the remaining games that took place in midweek.